So some of the challenges in community and heritage space is volume of data that is landing on the desktop of people that are working in this space. And that data is spatial in nature, as well as data that needs to be monitored at a regular occurrence and then reported out in a specific format to different instruments that local government, state government or federal government in Australia, for example, is requiring. So I think some of those key challenges are how do we present a multitude of data easily so that our customers can navigate that data well. So the community and heritage components really focus on looking at where heritage locations are, what needs to be done in terms of requirements to administer those heritage locations, as well as part of a ground disturbance permit process, what areas can you access or not access? What are sensitive areas and areas that perhaps you need more rigor across the top of it? Recent events in WA have kind of highlighted that process is pretty critical to how mining companies manage their ESG public-facing image in relation to this subject matter. So what do the K2fly solutions do around this? It's about managing community information, so who's where, what are their interests, managing the day-to-day interactions with them, if there's payments of fees around that, if it's access to tenements or access to specific community sites. That's also on the heritage side, heritage communities as well. And then it's also about managing those stakeholders on a day-to-day level. So if you think about a medium-sized mine with a number of tenements, the requirements across the top of that grow astronomically. So it's about busting silos where a heritage person looks at ABC and an environment person looks at DEF, and you've got some aerial imagery that shows ground disturbance. Putting all of those together in a workflow process that is easy to navigate and easy to report on means that we can drastically reduce the time frame around permits, around reporting, and around community engagement and interaction. So the K2fly tools in this space are talking directly to solving those sort of issues, and really it's an efficiency play in many cases. The software is allowing business to bust these silos and get through to a result much quicker as regards to community and heritage. We're doing quite a lot of work at the moment with the Keeping Place, and obviously the Keeping Place is a tool that collects community heritage information in a single location and administers that on behalf of the Aboriginal heritage communities. We're doing a lot of work with Griffith University at the moment, where they are actually going out over a 5-year programs of works to identify new cultural heritage sites. And the K2fly software obviously can track those sites, manage the information around them, including things like cave and rock art, managing the deterioration or reporting on the deterioration if it exists for some of those sites, and using some of our cool technology that we're actually using in the dams and tailings side, which is 3D imagery, spherical imagery, LAS files to do site orientation, those sorts of things. So the crossover benefit between the modules or solutions in K2fly is pretty important. So a good example of the heritage solution is the current work that we're doing with Rio Tinto in the space. They've identified this as a key area to focus on, and it's about creating a data store of relevant information with requisite access over the top of that info. And it's about managing the workflow around that cultural heritage information. So what needs to be done before approval and permitting is given for works to occur on site. And it's really important that that process checks back to the heritage system, which manages and is a custodian of that type of info. I think one of the exciting areas to explore is obviously heritage is really relevant in the Australian context, but I think First Nations people in Canada and areas and regions of the world like that, South Africa, my accent, South Africa, it is really important to start concentrating solutions in those regions of the world. And I feel that the product that K2fly has in this space is really going to do a stepwise change in locations like Canada, Southern Africa, etc. Around the world.